Blessed be my witches, and welcome to another episode of Witch Please. It is I, Odin the Seer, and today we are going to be making my Samhain, Halloween, Samhain, whatever you want to call it, oil. Now, you know that Samhain is coming up, y'all, and it's very, very, very important time for us witches. But before we get started, I have a couple of questions for the Witch Please family. Well, actually, I want your insight. Every year I go and I purchase new hats and new little witchy things, and I give them names. Well, names to my hats, actually. To my brooms, too, in my car. I went and bought some witches' hats today, or within the last couple of days. And I would like the Witch Please family members to help me name my 3 new members of my collection. I'm going to give you the names that I thought I might choose for them. Now, please, Witch Please family members, like and comment below. Tell me if you like the names that I've chose for them. And also let me know if there's anything else that you could possibly think of. Now, you know, which always has to be glamorous. This one here, I wanted to call Endora. For those of you who watched Bewitched, it was the mother, and I love her. This one here, I was thinking about, because it's quite simple, it's quite natural. I was thinking about calling this one the Aunt Clara, which was my favorite witch in Bewitched. And this one here, I wanted to call Eveline. Don't you bring Miss Eveline no bad news. Without further ado, let's get right into making this Samhain oil. You see, I don't use my Samhain oil once a year. I use my Samhain oil all year long. I thought it was very important to really share this with you today, because Samhain is a very, very powerful time. The veil between the worlds are at the thinnest. It is a wonderful time for communicating with spirits, with ancestors, with departed, those who have departed before, elemental beings, just anything that you personally want to connect with that is in a different reality or on a different plane of existence. This is the time to truly connect with those beings. Now, I find that when you bless your Samhain oil on Samhain night, and a nice little ritual, it doesn't have to be anything extravagant, my witches. All you need to do is basically place your Samhain oil on your altar, candles, a little bit of incense burning, state your prayer and your intent over the oil, and you have a wonderful way of being able to use it for any kind of spirit communication, any kind of ancestral communication. It is just a powerful, powerful thing to use on a regular basis. I would love for the Witch Please family members to be able to make this oil. It is a very important oil in my book, because again, when we are working with any kind of magics, any kind of spiritual development, any kind of growth, it is our ancestors, it is the elementals, it is the gods, it is whatever you would like to call these blessed beings, these consciousnesses. It is them who assist us. It is them who come to our aid in developing and growing. And especially if you're new witches, if you're just starting out, it is a wonderful, wonderful way for you to start building those connections, almost holding the power of Samhain to be able to make that veil a little bit more penetrable so you can see through a little clearer. Having said that, what are you going to need? So in this bottle, I have a mixture of equal parts almond oil and grapeseed oil. Almond oil is great for peace, it is great for fertility, it is great for love, it helps with connection, it helps with the deeper selves. Almond is a seed, it has the spark of creation, my witches. Now, why do I add in the grapeseed? I add in the grapeseed because the grapeseed is very, very good when it comes to mental powers, when it comes to bringing in a certain level of wisdom. Almond oil is also very good with that as well. But I find that if you bring the grapeseed in, it also brings that feeling of abundance and also that feeling of fall. I love to have that within there. We are also going to do something a little different here. I am going to put in just the lightest amount of olive oil. Okay, we want to have the knowledge, we want to be able to have the perspective to be able to see things clearer that the olive oil brings. We want to be able to have strong roots and connect with the beings that are closest to us, our ancestors mainly. So I'm just going to put just the smallest amount, maybe even half a teaspoon or a teaspoon, all depends. Just put in what feels right to you. Now please, my Witch Please family members, I don't want you running around town like chickens with your head cut off trying to find all these things, okay? If you have grapeseed oil, use grapeseed oil. If you have almond oil, use almond oil. If you don't have all of them, don't worry about it, my witches. Just make this oil and have it for connecting and keeping the veils thin when casting or connecting to any kind of spiritual being that you, or consciousness that you are trying to get a hold of. So now that we've mixed this together, we are going to be adding in our oils. We are going to be using cinnamon oil, clove, rosemary, hyssop, patchouli, sage, dragon's blood. Now, I also have some other ones here just to help with the Witch Please family members. I have clary sage here. I also have myrrh here. I have frankincense here. And I also have some cloves as well as dragon blood resin. Some of these I'm going to use, some of them I'm not going to use, but I just wanted to give you guys the skinny on them, so the witches that are out there wanting to make this are running around like crazy, okay? So we're going to start off now with cinnamon. Now cinnamon is great for blocking and pushing away and breaking down and removing things from within inside of your reality. So we honestly do want to have the cinnamon in there to be able to keep any negative energies away from us. But the other thing that cinnamon does that I think is absolutely wonderful, and I find that it really works well on Samhain, is cinnamon has a way of being able to warm the soul, to allow the ancestors that are around you to really see your flame, to really see the passions of their lineage within inside of you. That light that they gave me is still shining bright and honoring everything that they are and who they have created me to be. Now, for the Witch Please family members who have a difficult time with their ancestors, didn't know them, what have you, you know, someone passed away in your life and you didn't have the strongest connection, please understand that they are no longer of this world. Those illusions and all of those things that they've bought into no longer hold them. They are beings of love on a different plane of existence. Even if they are atrocious people, my witches, their spirit is in a place that is very, very different. Their soul is in a place that is very, very different, and they will come to your assistance. We are going to be putting in 7 drops of our cinnamon. You want to be able to retain the powers of All Hallows Eve. And I find that when you want to retain a certain vibration, clove is a wonderful way of doing that. Even when I'm doing any kind of spiritual work or I'm blessing something and I want to really have it hold that time and that space, I will use a little bit of clove on it for that. Or I'll even take a clove itself and I will rub it on whatever it is, just to be able to hold that time and space. And we are going to be putting in only 3 drops of this. The next one is rosemary, my witches. Again, this is about ancestors, about ghosts and ghouls and goblins, and it's about elemental beings, it's about all of these things, okay? We are all one, we are all connected. And I know that I was just talking about your ancestors. Yes, your ancestors have a strong lineage with you, okay? A lifetime that they lived is part of what we are now. But I want you to also understand that we are all connected, okay? So when I'm talking about ancestors, yes, I'm talking about your lineage, and it's a lot easier for a lot of people to say, this is my ancestor, and connect with that. They have photographs, they have an image of what that being was at one point. But truly we are all connected. And for me, ancestors are everybody within this world. Anybody who has paved the way for me to be able to live the life that I live right now. They're my ancestors. So I like to put in a little bit of the rosemary for not just the ancestors that I know, but the ancestors that know me, the beings that connect with me, even if I'm unaware of them. And rosemary is great when it comes to bringing a family together. And we are going to be adding in 7 drops of this. Cleanse me with hyssop and I shall be clean. Wash me and I shall be whiter than snow. We want to put hyssop in here because hyssop is a very, very powerful way of being able to connect. People understand the aspect of hyssop when it removes karma and all of these other things. It's very clear. That information is very much out there. However, hyssop is a great way as well of being able to allow people to understand that the reason why this karma, this negativity is being removed from us is by the powers of things greater than what we are. You see, we can't do anything alone. We stand on the shoulders of all the beautiful blessed beings that sustain life on this plane of existence. What I put my hyssop in, this oil for, is simply to honor these beings that are in the background, unknown, unseen, sometimes even forgotten. Because truly, it is that vibration, it is that being that plays a huge role in us being able to purge ourselves from what we were and allow us to be who we are becoming. And we are going to be adding in 3 drops of hyssop oil. Oh, auntie, you know how much I love my patchouli. Now, I know there's a lot of witches out there who are like, yeah, I don't like patchouli. I got you, my witches. I got you. Do not put the oil in if you do not like the smell of patchouli. However, get some patchouli, not the incense, the actual raw patchouli, and just put the smallest little leaf in it. Something that's not going to change the smell of it. As long as you have the vibration of patchouli in there, you are good. Now, for those of you Witch Please family members that are like me, who love me some of my patchouli, I'm going to be putting in 12 drops of this bad boy. I love me some of my patchouli. Now, why do I use patchouli? Because it's about roots. It's about the season. It's about knowing that we are going to make it through the next season. Our roots are deep, my witches. Right? We shall and we will overcome. Patchouli helps one in the dark times to understand the self. Think of what we can do throughout the winter months with this. Think of all the things that we could learn, that we can gain knowledge in by using this. So we're going to be adding in 12 to 13 drops of this, whatever you feel most comfortable with. And we are going to power up, or should I say, deepen this Samhain oil. I have regular sage and then I have clary sage. Now, you can use either one of these, okay? But I didn't want to tell you the differences. Clary sage is like sage in that it cleanses and it purifies and it removes negative energy and creates a wonderful environment. However, clary sage also brings in the divine light, okay? So one cleanses, the other one cleanses and also allows to bring in a divine light. Now I am going to be putting in 3 drops of each of them. Why? Because I have it. Okay. If you have another one, if you have red sage, you want to put red sage in there because you feel it wants you, honey, do it up. Okay? It's about your intuition. Okay? We're building this for you, truly, and what you want the outcome to be. And another thing I also want the Witch Please family member to know, that if you do not have these oils, get the herbs. If you have the herbs, that is fine. Use the herbs, not the oils. If you have the oils and the herbs, do it up, my spiritualists. You just want to get the vibration into that bottle. That's all you want to do. This is going to be a little bit of a twist here. So I'm going to be using dragon's blood fragrance oil. Now, I'm sure you're looking like, ugh, fragrance oil. But I love the smell of it, okay? I really, really do. And if you're looking at brujeria oils and so on and so forth, there's a lot of oils that just have the essence of the botanical, and the fragrance is really not essential. So what I do here is I take some dragon's blood, just a little piece of dragon's blood, and I drop that right into the master bottle. So I do have dragon's blood now within this, okay? So now I can add in the dragon's blood fragrance oil. So now I just took a little bit of it because I just love this scent. It's just so beautiful. And I just put it in. Now you can put in as many drops as you want just to get that undertone or that tone that you would like, okay? So I'm gonna stir this up a little bit and see if it has the undertone that I'm looking for. Yes, it does! If you want to put in fragrance oils, if you have the vibration that you're looking for, okay? I know a lot of very powerful witches who very rarely use essential oils, actually use a lot of fragrance oils and just put in some botanicals that they feel just because that scent really works for them. Don't buy into a lot of the illusions that everybody says about this, that, and the other. Do botanicals and oils have their vibration? Yes, they do. No one's going to dispute that fact, okay? But if you want to start making your own, if it's going to spark something inside you, and that fragrance oil you like and you want to put it in there, go for it, witches. Remember, this is your craft, nobody else's craft, okay? You cannot meet your full potential in anything you do if you feel that groups of people are limiting you by telling you that you can't do that because that's not the way that it should be done, this, that, and the other. That is not true. There's many witches out there who have gone against the status quo and became very powerful and very well known. The well-worn path is fantastic, but any true witch worth their salt also knows that intuition and personalizing your craft helps the craft evolve from what it was to what it is intended to be. Having gone on that rant, I also want to let the Witch Please family know that I have frankincense and myrrh here. I am using the dragon's blood resin here. So I won't be using the frankincense or the myrrh. But I wanted to let you know that if you do not have dragon's blood oil, and I'm sure a lot of people don't have it, if you do not have dragon's blood, then please use a piece of frankincense or myrrh or a few drops of frankincense and myrrh within this mixture. I normally have a tendency to go with about 3 drops, right, or 1 piece. But again, it's up to you, my witches, my spiritualists, what is best for you, what feels right. So last but not least, we are going to be adding in, a few drops, a few pieces of clove. So 4 fell out, and that's what we're going to be sticking with today. I just like to add that clove in there because after a while it really does bring a little bit of not a different scent, but a different vibration. It's more vibration that you can feel. And it's really quite nice. Not to mention the fact it looks really cute in the bottle. Right, so we're just going to put that in there. We're going to stir it up clockwise. Alright, my witches, my spiritualists, my family. That is it for today. Now, I did want to let you know that I will not be praying over this until Samhain. Right? I would normally do this on Samhain, but I really wanted to share this with you, and I really wanted you guys to see, so I will be doing this, and I'm bringing in the Witch Please fam with this, right, knowing that I did this from a place of love, sharing my recipes with you. Remember, my witches, this is the time for us to really connect with our craft. We're going into times of introspection. Okay, the sun god is dead. This is the dark time. This is the feminine time. This is the time that we want to know about ourselves. We want to master our craft. So, I hope that this recipe of mine really assists the seasoned witches and the newbie witches in creating a strong foundation to learn during this upcoming season. I said it before, my witches, and I will say it again. It is a pleasure to have you in my world. It is an honor to have you in my magic. And you are always in my heart. I love you, my spiritualist, my witches.